Hey, this is Sal at Robber Barons Inc. Instead of listening to Pint of Comics, which is trash, you should head over to robberbaronsinc.com and check out our full selection of t-shirts and apparel.
Hey there, this is John from Pint of Comics.
And I'm Lloyd, also from Pint of Comics.
And I'm the other John, and you get it by now. As you may know, we sometimes use language on this show that can be described as...
Filthy.
Okay.
Reprehensible?
Crude?
Sure.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. We all know that it's just playing out gutter talk.
You've been warned. Listen in.
Check the clock, kids. Pint O Comics time. That's right.
POC.
POC. We got a full house tonight. Sir John is off. We gave him the night off. He's got every year you get a certain amount of vacation hours and personal time.
Vacation time built up.
He had some vacation time built up, so he decided to take it. So we brought.
Am I the fill-in?
You are not the fill-in. Lou's the fill-in. You're the guest.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm the guest.
So Lou, our videographer and our game editor and game reviewer extraordinaire, is back with us. We got the Manster, of course. I'm Johnny Ganache. And with us is our buddy, I'm going to say it right every time.
Come on.
Neal Damiano.
Absolutely.
1475
That
Meriden
was the
Waterbury
best you've
Turnpike.
ever done.
You get the golden prize.
That's right.
That's it.
Neal is a film critic and a reviewer, and we will give you all of his information at the very end of the show.
Some call me that. Some just say I'm a film fanatic.
Well, you're a film fanatic.
Good enough.
That's good enough. And this is what this episode's going to kind of be about. This is, we've been doing a lot of focused episodes lately. We've been talking about...
This is more freestyle.
This is more freestyle. We got a couple things we want to bring up. There's been a couple big things going on in pop culture that would kind of be good. We'd be remiss not to talk about. And one of them right off the bat, and we got Lou here. So you kind of have to bring this up when Lou's here because he might have a series of minor strokes. Is this week, or last week for you listeners, or 2 weeks
During
ago.
the Star Wars
or a
celebration.
month ago, who knows?
Yeah, no, this is coming up. We're going to put this one right out.
All right.
We got the newest trailer for Star Wars episode. What are we at, 9?
Yeah, this will be
Is
9.
this 9?
This will be 9.
The final episode,
The
right?
final episode
Of the Skywalker saga.
Skywalker
Saga.
Yeah.
What's the official title of it?
It was the Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So we got the trailer. They had Star Wars Celebration number whatever out in Chicago. J.J. Abrams has been hard at work. Going to put this thing out, what, Christmas time? Is it Christmas time?
Yeah,
this year?
Christmas time, yeah. He's been busy trying to resurrect the franchise after that last pile of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
If you don't remember, Lou really hated that last
Which,
one.
by the way, they didn't even name at Star Wars, like during the panel.
I heard
They just
that.
kept saying the last one.
Okay.
They
Well-
never at any point,
Really?
because
On a
I just,
panel?
yeah, they kind of, they almost brushed it. There was actually one point where somebody asked a question about Ruin Johnson, and he was just, and he kind of danced around
now,
it.
can I
because
ask you a
just think he
question,
doesn't-
like a serious question?
Yeah, go
not
ahead.
to be try to elicit reaction or anything, but
Not to try to elicit reaction, but you know how I'm going to react.
well, no, but this is a real question. So, like you just said, Ruin Johnson, like
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson just stabbed you in the heart.
Yeah, he shouldn't be allowed to touch anything Star Wars ever again.
Here's my question. Listen, do you think that Disney takes one of their probably, well, I'm going to say lesser than Marvel franchise, right? At this point, Marvel is the top dog at Disney. Star Wars is number 2, but it is number 2 franchise going on.
That's pretty pathetic.
But listen, do you think that they actually take that franchise and get all these fans who blame Ryan Johnson for so much? Do you think that was entirely him? He's working for hire. They tell him, like everybody who keeps saying, like, this is what I keep hearing is that, well, when episode 9 comes out, J.J. Abrams is going to fix everything Ryan Johnson did.
Right.
Ryan Johnson didn't do shit. He wrote a script and handed it into Disney, and Disney said, yes, no, rewrite it. Everything that came out in that last movie, if you hate it or not, was not Ryan Johnson's idea totally. It was approved by me. I get
So you're saying it's Disney, not Ryan Johnson.
I'm saying maybe he's not.
Well, let me ask you this then.
Right.
If that's the like I said, I wasn't in the boardrooms. I wasn't in the writing room. I don't know what happened
I
behind the
wasn't
scenes.
obviously either, but I'm saying logically.
But if what you're saying is true, why would they take what was it? Not Tartakovsky, the guy who was going to direct 9 before JJ came back. Why would they pull him off the movie?
Because
that's what I'm like. If it wasn't totally
Colin-
on him,
Colin
Colin
Trevorrow.
Trevorrow. Thank
Right.
you, Colin Trevorrow.
Because maybe as a director, he didn't meld well with people. Maybe as a writer, he wasn't coming up with ideas fast enough. I'm not saying the ideas weren't Rian Johnson's, but I'm saying it wasn't like Rian Johnson said, here's the script, Disney, we're making this, Disney, and it's my way or the highway. They had to fucking approve it. So all the people that blame Rian Johnson for these woes of The Last Jedi, I think they should be mad at Disney, right? I mean, does anybody agree with me on this?
I gotta say, I feel like my film card should be taken away, or my film geekdom, because I've only followed the Star Wars, just the Lucas years, New Hope, Empire, and Jedi.
4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
And
no,
that was my last.
good for you.
Yeah,
for
right.
you.
Well,
I'm
you got the
lost
best of
here.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about.
So here we're
those,
going to
but-
catch you up. We're going to catch you up, Neil. So what happened was in 2000 and like 4 years ago, J.J. Abrams came back with the sequel to
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi, right? So we had prequels, but we had never expanded upon what happened after Return of the Jedi. He came out with the very popular Force Awakens.
34 years later?
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, 30
I
some
think
odd
it was
years
So
about
ago.
that
that,
was supposed
yeah.
to be what happens after the Jedi.
Well, here's the thing. So Return of the Jedi ends. This is 30 years later, right? The Empire is rebuilding itself under a different name. There's still rebels, but they're not called rebels. They're called Resistance, who, for whatever reason. And they make this movie, and it does very well. And J.J. Abrams, everybody loves J.J. Abrams, and he creates these new characters that people like. And then Rian Johnson comes along as the second director and makes a movie that does make some weird choices. And not all of them I have a problem with, but it's not as feel good, and everybody hates it. Like, it is
A
universally
lot
hated.
of people hate it.
There are people that like it, but it's universally hated. So now they bring J.J. Abrams back. They originally had a third, totally different director. The guy that made the first Jurassic World was going to do the third one. Didn't work out. They fire him. They bring J.J. Abrams back because obviously they can't bring Rian Johnson back because Rian Johnson,
So is he hated now, Rian Johnson?
he is, but funnily enough, they gave him the keys to another trilogy.
Yeah, to another trilogy.
So he's
that
going to be
gonna
making
doing.
another trilogy of Star Wars movies that are going to be based on none of the Skywalker shit. Because that's one of the problems with
Well,
this.
that's fine. I think he can move on with something new.
Right.
He didn't do well with the Skywalker saga, I guess you would call it.
And Lou was particularly hurt by Last Jedi because Lou
Yes.
particularly loved Force Awakens.
Yeah.
You saw it
I
like
loved it
7 times in
Yeah,
the theaters.
I loved it.
Right?
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Because you know what? At its core, it's a Star Wars movie. I mean, like everyone says, oh, it just copied Episode 4, which it might have. I mean, like it did hit the story beats. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and deny that.
Totally copied it. But
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
mean, I'm not going to. So did Phantom Menace.
It was a copy.
I mean, but the thing is like I said to you all those years ago at the time, it's a fucking Star Wars movie. What more do you want from it? That's what it was. I mean, you can say it copied it, which I'll fully admit it did, but it was fun.
So we jump
and
ahead.
At the end of the day, that's what a Star Wars movie is. It's fun.
We jump ahead to now this year, 2019. We've gotten 2 movies every 2 years. We're heading into the third one. Trailer just came out. Comes out on Christmas. Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Are you excited again? Or is your hurt so much from Last Jedi that you don't give a fuck?
I'm excited.
Yep.
I'll be there. You know that. Anyone who knows me knows that. I'll be
Right.
there on day one. I have a little bit more apprehension just because I think there's going to be a lot of lifting that's going to have to happen in this movie in 2.5 hours. I mean, unless they plan on making it like a Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
no.
like 9-hour, 15 ending,
Jumping on the
15
bed.
ending, yeah, jumping on the bed.
Oh,
epic.
Mr. Frodo.
I mean, you figure 2.5 hours. I mean, there's a lot of lifting that's going to have to go on. So, I mean, I don't know how he's going to get through all of it.
What did you think of the trailer?
I, in true fashion, in my opinion, they didn't tell you anything.
Right.
I mean, you see her with a lightsaber. When Luke opens, says, we've basically, paraphrasing, we've taught you everything we know. 1,000 generations of Jedi live in you. I mean, obviously they can't be referencing The Last Jedi because they didn't train her at all. So I'm thinking that scene is towards the end of the movie and they're going to have to have gone through some form of training.
Who was the last Jedi in The Last Jedi? Was it Luke?
I would like to think it's Rey.
I'm thinking it's Rey.
Because
Yeah, I would agree
she's-
with Lou.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really not a Jedi, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, if I could chime in, I always was a hands guy. I thought Luke was a weak sack. I grab some balls. I was more of a Han guy.
Yeah. Well,
When I was a
was a
kid-
Han guy as a kid, but as I got older, I understood Luke more. But I mean, what kid doesn't like Han? He's good looking. He gets the chick.
Yeah, Han was cool.
He's the only guy.
Drives the
he
ship,
drives the cool car. He gets the chick who's not his sister. Everything's working out okay for Han. You know what I mean?
You know, Johnson's angry right now, right? It's like another Star Wars episode.
That's okay. He wasn't here. I figured if we were going to talk about Star Wars at all, we got to do it on a night
He's
when
rolling
John's-
his eyes.
He'll be happy
when
he
John's
wasn't
on
involved.
vacation. So, all right. So we get the trailer. We get here's a little bit of the I guess bullet points of the important things we get in the trailer. Kylo Ren is still angry. He's been angry for 2
Kylo
movies.
Ren's still edgy.
Yeah.
Ray
He welds the helmet back together.
welds the helmet back together that he smashed in the last one. Ray still has the blue lightsaber.
Well, actually, I mean, like, I know it happened towards the end of it happened basically in like the very last scene. But what's nice about this one is the three main characters are actually together. Like that's nice.
Right.
Yeah,
Poe,
I mean, like,
Finn, and,
which up until this point really hadn't happened. I
Right.
mean, outside of like the one last scene, the last scene of The Last Jedi,
We get to
it'd be nice
see-
to see them together actually form some relationships and bonds.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they really haven't up until this point.
we get to see Billy D. Williams as Lando,
yeah.
which is very cool.
No, in the Falcon.
though.
No, Nien Nub was in Force Awakens
Lando
though.
Case.
He's one of the
you're
one of
right.
the X-Wing
Yeah, you're right,
fighters,
you're right.
or whatever they call them.
Or was it Lando Sapien or
Calrissian.
Calrissian?
Yeah, and you,
something
for a
like
film buff, you really are not a
knew
Star
it's-
Wars guy.
that. No, I'm not.
No,
I
he
really
admitted
am
that
not.
before.
I-
He's
Yeah,
only
but
seen
I'm
the
saying,
first-
I got what
admit
he's
it.
saying before, but then when you start calling Lando Calpian, you're even like,
I'm not,
Lando
I'm
Sapien.
not- I'm not a
So
big-
we're mixing
I'm not
Hellboys
a big Star
in here.
Wars guy. I mean, I like like I said, the Lucas ones because I watched them as a kid. But I'm not a huge knowledgeable
didn't-
guy on that. No.
All right.
No, admittedly enough.
now we get at the very end of this trailer, we get a particular laugh at the end.
Do we know where they are on this trailer? I mean, they're on a desert planet.
Well,
obviously.
Tatooine.
Well,
They're definitely on Tatooine.
Well, it's either that or Jakku.
Jakku.
Okay.
Because every one of these movies takes place on Tatooine or Jakku at this point. They're going to stop at Hoth to go to the Big Belly Burger there. But no, so at the very end of the trailer, we, what do they say? Nobody's gone forever. And then we get the
Emperor.
The
Ian
Emperor's
McDermott.
laugh, right? And then he showed up at the celebration.
He did. It was
so
pretty
he's
cool.
actually in the film.
Yeah, I didn't do a.
Can I
had
just say
that
that's
role and it worked
bullshit?
that
I
day.
don't like that.
I don't like
What?
that either. That the Emperor.
Why? The
Palpatine?
lore is established. They established that, that he, well, I mean, they never really say it for sure, but they do establish that he could have learned the power to, cheat death from Plagueis
Where'd they establish that?
in the prequels.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's. Oh,
Well, I
well.
mean, why can't he come back as a Force ghost? Everybody else does.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know.
Well, I mean, it might actually be him. You know what I mean? He might have survived.
Right.
I mean, all Vader did was throw him over the edge. You don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been hanging on like a fucking bundle of cables for like 40 years. Like,
Oh, they did.
I'm
They did.
down here.
It was clearly assumed that he was dead.
Well,
back
yeah,
then,
I know, but we also assumed that Darth
things
Maul was
changed.
dead, but that changed too.
There's some, Darth Maul did survive. There's some guy like, well, no, Death Star.
There is a kind of thing in Star Wars about getting thrown off of a high place and still making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've established
I
that.
do remember that.
Yeah.
Luke hanging on.
Yeah.
David,
Yeah, you make it.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, Luke hanging off the weather vane there on the
I
bottom
remember
of
the
Bespin.
original. Like, my favorite character was Greedo. I
Star
loved
Wars is
Greedo.
You're a big Greedo guy.
Greedo
that
fan.
scene with Han and the gun on the table, it's
Yeah.
iconic. It's classic. I mean, in Empire,
They're
Oh,
big.
in Star Wars. In Star Wars,
in
yeah.
Star Wars, yeah.
It's refreshing to talk to a guy that doesn't know much, at least, or isn't revering Star Wars too much, because everybody does. I guess what I'll ask you, so you're excited about it. Lloyd, are you excited about it?
Mildly, yeah.
I'm in the same place. I'm going to go see it because that's what I do. But in all honesty, someone had asked me about it recently, someone else not involved.
I want to be more excited.
Me too.
You know, it's the ending of Star Wars. I want to be really excited for it, but I just wish I could.
Someone had said to me, "Are you really psyched about this?" And I said, "They've made 2 bad movies, and this is the 3rd. How could I be excited about it at this point?" You know, I didn't like Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I mean, I'm gonna get. I know we've had this argument before. I think it's a better movie than Force Awakens, and that's not saying a lot. That's not
Really?
saying a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I totally
I don't think
enjoy it.
that. I can't agree with you there.
I don't. Force Awakens or Last Jedi. I don't understand the vitriol and hate that it gets. You know, like a lot of the people. One of the big things is, spoiler alert, Neil, is that Luke Skywalker
Probably
dies.
not going to go see it.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker dies. Who the fuck cares that Luke Skywalker dies?
Whoa.
You know.
Whoa. You're hurting Lou's soul right now.
I know.
Stop it.
I know.
You know, I'll tell you. I think I mentioned this before.
It's not the fact that Luke died. It's the fact that how they did it.
How they did it. Yeah.
What, that he used his powers to the point where he saved everybody?
The fact that they spent an entire movie taking a character. See, I'm going to start now. Taking a character that was all about hope and good and turning him into a nasty, crotchety old man.
Well, that's what happens
the
when you get old.
entire movie.
I'm sorry.
A guy
It
who would,
happens.
and I'm sorry, he never, and I mean never would have even contemplated killing Kylo. So that scene where he's standing over him with the lightsaber out is a fucking joke. Never would have happened.
Look at the passion in this guy's
All right.
eyes.
And
That's-
I'm serious.
What he's
I'm
saying is
serious.
possible
Yeah.
because that was done in, well, a flashback, but that was when he was younger, Luke. Younger than old crotchety you.
Well, he was like,
Well, no, he was
slightly
in between.
older. He was
Yeah,
in
but
between.
he wasn't old as he is now.
Right, no, you're right.
No,
Anyway,
never.
let's
Not-
move away
not-
from
not-
that and get back to the trailer.
Well, yeah. So I mean, the trailer. I mean, that's really it for the trailer. There's nothing in the. I just wanted to bring it up because it happened,
Well, I mean,
and I kind of wanted to gauge everybody's
Yeah.
response. Obviously,
Yeah.
Neal doesn't give a shit, and that's cool. Right. He hasn't seen the first two.
No, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked them a lot, and I had the figures and stuff like that. But I just couldn't follow the rest of. I got more into different kind of films, and I loved the original Star Trek, the 1960s.
He's trying so hard to make us not feel bad about
Yeah.
his distaste for Star Wars.
I love that writing.
No,
I love-
we're cool. We're cool. I'm gonna go see it. I might be with you that day. You know,
Yeah,
I'll be there, man.
I'm
I'll be
hoping-
waiting in line.
I'm hoping there's a scene that really like brings something back to me, or maybe like it solidifies, like, God, I do love this. I don't think it's gonna happen. The trailer underwhelmed me, but most trailers do, so that doesn't mean much of anything. And I'm kind of glad that it's there because I would like that to be the only one. It's Star Wars. You don't need. It's I have this theory I've always said. Coca-Cola and McDonald's could stop advertising tomorrow and they wouldn't lose a dime.
Right.
Because you love Coca-Cola and you want to eat a Big Mac.
Yep.
You just put the word Star Wars in theaters.
It's gonna sell.
Well, actually, I'm almost. I guess I lied there because fucking Solo did so bad.
Yeah, but Solo did so bad because of The Last Jedi.
Because of The Last Jedi. So, all right, let's move past that. We talked about Star
I
Wars.
mean, I personally, I'd rather hear your guys' opinion on the Halloween reboot. I know it might be beating a dead horse.
Oh,
but
I think we talked about that.
We did talk about it. We'll make it quick. Garbage. That was garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot garbage.
Yeah.
I got to tap out on this one. I didn't see it.
Did you enjoy that?
I went to the theater to see it, and people hype stuff up, and it's like it's never what you expect.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did a review of it. It's hard to because and this is my opinion. The original 1978 John Carpenter's Halloween is a complete, absolute masterpiece.
It is.
Masterpiece of a film in every aspect, from production, filming, the storyline, everything. So it's hard to rehash that. But as far as a sequel, I think it was a good sequel. It was better than like Part 5 and Part 6 with all this like Indian reservation, all this like weird
yeah. I mean, you're yeah. Did you not think that she was the worst doomsday prepper ever?
Well, I thought Jamie Lee Curtis overdid it with the agoraphobia. I thought she overdid it, man. We get it. You're
just
scared
had-
to go out.
She had the worst like her hideout, her house.
Right.
She has
It
a
was
room randomly
unrealistic.
filled with mannequins.
Yeah.
Like that can only confuse you when you walk into it and you're looking for Michael Myers and now the room's filled with mannequins. What the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah, you got fucking Michael going around killing like he's Jason out in Rampage, just running into houses.
Yeah,
and
that
fucking
that scene was
slaughtering people.
well made where it follows him
Right.
through the neighborhood,
Yeah.
but he doesn't do that. In the
No.
first in the original Halloween, he kills 5 people, I think.
Right. It loses all the foreshadowing, the
Right.
nuances of he's hiding behind a bush. Is he really is he going to kill them at this point? That goal goes out the window.
Right.
You know he's going to slaughter these people. He goes in on a mission and just kills them. Right. Versus the original, where you don't know if he's going to kill her yet. He's kind of stalking her. He's at the schoolyard. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
he's
yeah,
driving
no,
the
the first
car.
one the first one was a much scarier film.
Absolutely.
It was a much scarier film.
And I mean, not to talk all night on it, but I thought it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
Okay.
It wasn't the best. It's not going to surpass the original, obviously, without it. No, by any means. But it was entertaining.
I have a theory in life that if you like something, you like something. I did not like that movie. I felt like it was just. I don't
think it
felt
gets
like
the praise that the things they did wrong was they didn't kill the asshole boyfriend. He just kind of faded.
He
off.
fades out.
Yeah.
They
And
kill
they
the fat
kill the
kid.
fat funny kid.
They
that
kill the
just
fat
wants to
funny kid.
live.
The fat funny kid that you're hoping she actually might like give a hand job to.
Right.
They kill him. The boyfriend who's like banging the other girl, they just leave him in the school auditorium.
Exactly.
And he, like, as far as you know, he's off just banging everybody now.
Right. In that, and it's like, and then the whole thing I don't buy, she burns him at the end and he's just standing there. And
Yeah.
Like,
for a guy that said you like this movie, you sound like you don't like this movie. I'm just
No, I thought it was entertaining, but as far as what I thought, do I think it's a great movie? No, not by any means.
I got to interject for a second.
Yeah.
Are you were hoping that Jamie Lee Curtis is going to give a hand job to a fat funny kid in a high school?
No, not Jamie Lee.
Her
granddaughter.
Okay.
No, the granddaughter.
Oh, there was a granddaughter. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
her granddaughter.
I was like, that's a
her
little
granddaughter
weird.
has a boyfriend who
Who's a
turns out to
complete
be
asshole.
an asshole. And that kid just like he never gets like usually in horror movies
The asshole gets killed.
The asshole gets killed. They make it a point like you're an asshole, but he gets killed. In this one, she leaves him at the dance. You never hear from him again.
And he has a funny friend.
He has a funny friend who ends up hanging out with the girl.
They kill the friend zone.
and they kill the
kid.
friend. Yeah, the friend zone kid gets killed violently.
And he's funny in it.
And he's funny,
entertaining. He's funny in it. He's
He
hilarious.
was one of the better
Well, that
characters.
sucks.
Yeah. Where like in the older movies, the friend zone kid would have been the one that you never heard from again.
Yeah.
And the asshole boyfriend would have been
get
like,
slaughtered.
Is there
getting
like,
slaughtered.
Is there like a thing that us fat guys can do? Is there like a change.org thing we can sign?
Yeah.
Like just
Yeah.
express our
You know what?
displeasure at the fat kid
If you
getting
watched
killed?
a movie, he shouldn't have got killed. There was when I went to the theater, there was people actually when he gets killed in the yard when he's calling.
Oh,
for
when
it
the-
in
that was
yard.
that was a cool scene.
It was a cool scene.
I like
but
that.
when he gets killed, it's like fuck, no, not him. It was like a
Right,
grasp.
you wanted,
he
you were
was a
pulling
likable
for him.
character,
Yeah,
yeah.
All right, we're talking horror movies. So we watched the trailer for Star Wars. We also watched the trailer real quick for the remake of the 1988
Child's Play.
horror classic Child's Play, right? And there's a couple things going on right now with that. So Don Mancini is the guy that created Child's Play.
Right.
Brad Dourif is the voice of Chucky. They made 76 movies in that line, I think. I think they made one last year,
About
right?
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Don Mancini is making a TV show. This other movie we just watched the trailer for he's not involved in it. So he's actually against this thing. There's a whole thing going on. It's kind of like, two sides making the same property. But what I found interesting in this trailer was, first of all, you got Aubrey Plaza. Thumbs up, right? Thumbs up.
That's a positive.
Love her.
April from Parks and Rec. Do you know Aubrey Plaza? Did you watch Parks and Rec, Lou?
I know her from those cell phone commercials.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she's in that. Plus, she's in Legion. She's amazing in Legion.
I don't watch Legion, but I know she's in Legion. So now this is a remake of the first movie. Mother and son, no father, move to a new town. The kid's having a hard time getting along with friends. And the newest hot thing is it's not called what was the original one called?
The Good Guy.
Good Guy. Now it's called a buddy. But it's like that
Right.
Apple thing.
And it's an app.
B-U-D-I.
You know where they got
BUDDI.
that from, right? My buddy. Remember that?
Yeah,
dog?
remember that?
Oh,
my
My
buddy,
Buddy and Me.
my buddy.
My buddy and me. Yeah.
I did not have my buddy. Just to
Yeah,
be clear.
but not to mention the fact that my buddy was when I was a kid, so you were like 40 at that time. That's
Yeah, I was like 40.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
All right,
My buddy.
so the buddy doll, and they make it a point too that this thing is like a smart doll, right? In the preview, it interfaces with your thermostat, it interfaces with your
Yeah.
television.
Smartphone.
Why would the doll interface with your thermostat?
I don't know.
There's an app,
Why
and
is that a
with
thing?
there's an app you can do
It
anything.
can burn you easily. Like,
that's
it's
what
a killer
yeah.
doll.
Like,
so-
Yeah,
can
because
you-
there's a scene in the trailer where there's a guy holding on to like a pipe, and Chucky uses his fucking robotic innards to turn the pipe up to 109, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
I wish you could see John's robotic movements while he's doing
very
that.
very robotic. You got Aubrey Plaza, and then the voice of Chucky, which you only hear at the very end of this, is Mark Hamill. Going right back to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker died. He ends up getting a job as Chucky in the new
There's
movie.
a 6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees of
There you go.
separation. Lou, actually, while we were watching the trailer, Lou is not a horror guy. He's not a big fan of watching horror movies. I don't think it's because he's afraid or anything. You're not a
Just
fan.
not a huge fan. No.
But when we were watching the trailer, there is this scene in the beginning where where the doll actually is like standing in the corner of the room, and it kind of like comes to life, like the eyes turn on,
Yeah.
and he actually kind of jumped.
Well, the first
it was
one
pretty
freaked
funny.
me out. The very first Child's Play I saw in the theater at the Fourplex.
Yeah.
Fourplex, and that freaked the fuck out of me.
You know what it reminded me of? And I'm being dead serious. I mean, the very last scene of Blair Witch when they run down the stairs and she's standing in the
I thought
corner.
you were going with Amityville.
No. Blair
was
Witch. That
fucking
very
freaky,
last
too.
scene of Blair Witch.
At
he's in the
CT
corner.
Yeah.
At CT Horror Fest last year, we were one of the sponsors, and at the very end of the day, I stayed away. We had a table, we were recording. I stayed away from the celebrity area because I really am not supposed to jump in there, and I didn't. I'm not going to start bothering
You're a
anybody.
celebrity.
Yeah, Johnny Ganache.
Yeah.
You got a
So
table.
JG.
I finally at the end of the day I said I'm going to walk over and just look at the celebrities, see who's there, and there was, Pam Grier was sitting there, and I
Yeah.
just kind of walked by and like looked at her and walked
Hey,
by.
Pam. What up?
Mark Patton from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was
Yeah.
there, and then
Jesse.
and they were busy. They had people there. Then over in the corner, there's a guy sitting all by himself, and I might get the name wrong, but I think it's Michael Williams.
I ran into him.
Did you?
in the cafe? Yeah, he's a
Okay.
nice guy.
I walked
I
over.
said you were my favorite one on Blair Witch.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, thank you.
It's that guy.
Oh, he was that guy.
He was one of the three from Blair Witch. He's the one who's in the corner.
not
at the end.
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
they're
like
not-
that
not-
scene,
they're
right?
not-
That scene scares
that
the fuck
scene
out of me.
freaks you
Not
out.
the one who kicked the fucker in the creek, the map.
No.
the other
I
one.
think he's the
He's the
cameraman.
one that's like pissed about that.
Yes.
Like you
Yeah,
fucked up.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the guy that not the crazy one who actually did the kicking of the map into the creek.
The other guy.
The other one. Right.
So I walked over to him.
God, I love that movie.
I walked over to him and I just said, hey, how's it going? He goes, man, what's going on, Mike? And I'm like, Mike, look, I just wanted to tell you real quick that I saw Blair Witch in the theaters, right? I saw it with my wife. I
me
saw
too.
it. The summer came out when, at that point, if you remember, people didn't know if this was a real thing or not.
I'm calling it now. If I ever do one of these Pint movies, Blair Witch is mine.
Okay, no, that's
All
it.
right.
You're doing
Yeah.
that. I'm marking it down.
Why not?
So we talked for a little bit, and I just said to him, I said, I got to ask you a question. And I didn't know if this was like maybe I'm interjecting in my head. I said, how many people have you take pictures of that with them where you're turned around? He goes, fucking everybody. He's like, every picture I
Yeah, but
take.
how do they know it's him? Really?
Well, I don't.
You know what mean?
They
Like,
probably do two. They must do
Oh,
one
okay,
and two.
yeah.
But I thought maybe I was just thinking that. I'm like, do people ask you? He's like, all the time. He's like, I got to put my head against the wall on every
That's
picture I
funny.
take of people.
But it's sad to, like you mentioned, nobody was at his table. It's sad to see that. Like,
that was at the very end of the
yeah.
day, though. So hopefully,
okay.
I don't know. This
It
was
was
this
a
was like
long day.
1 hour left in the day.
right.
Even Pam Grier was like chilling out. There wasn't much activity over there earlier in the day. I
Yeah.
can't speak for him, but that area was crowded. What was his name? Was
Nick
there
Castle was
Chop Top,
there.
Nick Castle, and
Bill Moseley,
Bill
yeah.
Moseley.
Oh,
had
the
him.
redhead guy.
Oh, Courtney Gaines.
Oh yeah, I met
Gaines,
him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Courtney
he
Gaines.
was cool.
Oh, and PJ Souls.
PJ Souls, right?
Yeah.
And there was quite
They're
a few
just
people
getting
there.
bigger and bigger. They're just getting some phenomenal guests.
That's right. And this year, sponsoring again, it's going to be in Naugatuck this year at the Naugatuck Event Center. I've been there for a car show once through work, and it's
place.
much bigger, nicer place. And I don't want to get the date wrong, but go to horrornewsnetwork.net. I think it's September 15th. It's a Saturday in September.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a one-day show. Go there now. Get your tickets.
Saturday. Yeah,
It's a Saturday, and we're going to be there. We're going to be hanging out all day.
And they got Matthew Lillard there, who's one of my favorites.
Oh,
Matthew
yeah.
Scream, SLC Punk, just the guy's amazing. Awesome.
Matthew Lillard has one of my
Shaggy.
favorite lines in Scream. When what does he say? He's like, I'm getting kind of woozy here.
He went a little too deep.
He went a little too deep, Stu, or whatever his name is. All right, so Child's Play. Lou, we know you're not going to go see that because you're not a horror guy. Lloyd, going to go see it in the theaters?
No, absolutely not.
No.
You know, I probably will.
Yeah.
Because I like to be entertained. It's gonna, if anything, it's gonna be entertaining. Is it gonna be great? No.
It's one of those movies I might take the wife to see. Just like a Sunday afternoon, nothing going on. Let's go check it out. I don't go to the
Matinee.
movies that much anymore, but once in a while, it's fun to be
Are
scared.
you gonna go see Pet Cemetery? I'll probably go see that one.
I have
haven't
not,
seen it
but
yet.
Lloyd, we'll do a spoiler for your review. Lloyd did go see Pet Cemetery recently, and Lloyd is
the trailer looks scary as fuck.
Lloyd is the resident Stephen King fan.
Yes, I am, yeah.
I will say this before you say anything about your review, and not that it bears any impact on it, but I like to mention stuff like this. So we have our friend from CT Cult Classics, Ryan LeMay. Do you know Ryan?
Right, he's a big.
Ryan
Yeah,
is
he's
the
a
Stephen
huge
King
Stephen
collector.
fanatic. Yeah.
He fucking hated.
He hated it. Okay.
Didn't even kind of hate. He was like fucking. When we saw Halloween, we ran into Kurt Spieler, the director, and Kurt, when we came out of the theater, looked like he had just been fucking like robbed. Remember how like he was really pissed off about Halloween sucking? He was like,
Yeah.
He looked shocked. Ryan, when he got out of,
He was just like that.
on social media, he's just like, "What the fuck happened?" So, what did you think?
All right. I don't think it was that bad. I won't go. I'll say spoilers here, right? I'll
You-
say
you can
we're
go
going to
light-
give spoilers.
Well,
Light
yeah. I
spoilers.
mean,
Light
don't
spoilers.
spoil the. I mean, I'm
Because-
definitely gonna go see it, but
it has the same beats. Family moves in. They're right next to a freeway with big gigantic trucks just flying by. And instead of the son getting killed, you think the son is going to get killed.
And this isn't a spoiler, by the way, because this has been said in all the trailers.
It's all, the son is running towards the road, and then it's actually the daughter that gets killed. All right.
yeah, I saw that in the trailer.
They bury the cat first. They bury the daughter second. It's all the same things. There's some There's some other things that happens in this movie, like there's a parade of children wearing masks of, animal masks.
I saw that in the trailer. That looks spooky.
I didn't really care about that. It didn't add anything to the film at all, in my opinion. There was really nothing added.
Are you a fan of the original movie?
Yeah, I like it well enough.
I'm not the
it's
hugest
not a
fan.
great movie.
I like the book. I didn't care about the movie.
Yeah, I like the book. I didn't care
I like
about
Misery
the
a
movie.
lot better.
The movie, or
Movie,
yeah,
the
oh
movie.
yeah.
My favorite story by Stephen King is The Dead Zone.
Yeah,
I love
Dead
that
Zone is
fucking
good.
movie and that
Yeah.
story.
The
Zone's
movie
good.
and the book are fantastic.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
John Lithgow, he's great. I think he's just great in no matter
when does he
what
do
he
anything
does.
bad?
Right. He doesn't have the thick Maine accent like Fred Gwynn did, but he's just good, so it doesn't matter.
And who's the dad? Is that Jason Clark? I think it's
guess
Jason
it's
Clark.
Jason Clark, yeah.
He's one of those guys
And
that like.
Tasha Yar, she's
Jason
knocked
Clark's
them all.
awesome as an actor. I like him
He's
a lot.
okay.
Yeah,
He's
I
okay.
really do like him a lot. So.
Yeah. No, the movie doesn't really add anything. I don't want to give away the ending, but it's a little different ending than before. But
Well, let me ask you
it's
guys
nothing
this.
greght. It's just there.
You kind of sound like Neal when he started with Halloween, and then kind of sounded like less enthused about it.
No,
you
I
sounded
didn't.
like
I
you-
never said it was like I never said I liked this movie a lot.
Oh,
It's
I
just-
thought when you first saw it, you said you liked it.
it was just okay.
Okay.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
That's what I say when
Well,
I,
okay. Here's the question, and this goes a far way with this type of movie. Entertaining, sure. Was it scary?
Yeah,
Good
sure.
question.
Yeah, it's scary enough.
It looks. The trailer makes it look scary. That's not
Yeah,
saying. I mean,
yeah.
trailers
There's
do,
scary
but-
stuff. The cat is scary. The kid, when he comes back and he's changed. He's evil now and he
Right.
says really
you go-
weird things and.
Go back and watch the Dead
But there's
Zone.
nothing
That's a
that you didn't
freaky-
already see.
That's a scary movie. That's a freaky movie. There's some
I have
freaky
the Dead
scenes.
Zone on DVD. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie because it's Christopher
Christopher
Walken.
Walken.
Great story.
The ice is gonna break. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we want to talk about Pet Cemetery a little
So
bit.
if you want to go see it, go see it. You're not missing anything if you don't.
You
How
got to
is
work
it compared
fast.
to the first, to the original? How is it compared to? The
I mean,
original?
neither one is great. So I know it's equal.
Does it have a Ramones song in it?
It does have Pet Cemetery, but it's sung by I believe Starcrawler instead.
Oh, I like Starcrawler.
Yeah,
It's not
Starcrawler's
sung
good.
by
Yeah.
the Ramones. I love the Ramones.
It's not the Ramones. No, it's Starcrawler.
I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery, right?
I love the Ramones.
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Great song. Now let me ask you guys this: what do you think of all the rehashing of these revered films being rebooted and remade? Like people love Child's Play. It may not be your
Right.
cup of tea.
I don't need a
had
new
kid that
Child's
was there.
Play.
We don't, but like the people that go to CT Horror Fest do.
Yeah, they
Really?
love
You know what I
this
mean?
I didn't need a new Pet Cemetery, but
I've
it's
developed
there.
actually a new theory about reboots and,
It's
and
crazy
remakes.
that they're doing all these.
I think
Professor Lou with his theorem.
Well, no, I really I thought about this a lot, and I mean I might be completely off base, and a lot of people say it's just Hollywood leaning on already established things to just minimal risk for the most profit they can do. I've often thought that with remakes, especially with kids nowadays, and the rise of CG graphics and the way things have changed since movies, I don't think kids, younger people that they're targeting these audiences for, enjoy a movie from, say, the 70s or the 80s as much. And
I disagree.
they need the updated graphics just because it's what they've
To
grown
an
up
extent,
with.
I think I agree. But here's the thing: I know kids. I know, like, take Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for example. Came out in what 88 or something, 87. One of those
89, because we
89,
just
was
talked
it
about it.
89?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I know kids that are like 15 that know of that film and love it. They weren't around.
I'm not saying
My
it's
daughter
all of them.
watches
I-
a lot of 80s
Yeah.
movies, and I don't think she
The Breakfast
feels. I
Club,
don't
all
feel
that
like she
stuff.
thinks she needs an updated version of it.
No, I
think
mean,
she likes the
I know kids
original.
that love
That's
The Breakfast
because of
Club.
you.
That's because of me?
That's because of you. She's taking her love of it from you.
I don't know. Maybe
I kind
maybe
of
a little
step
bit,
in with Lou.
but I don't think so because I don't influence her movie watching. She just watches
you don't
whatever
think
she
not-
watches.
Yeah, you don't think
You
you,
don't
do.
think you do.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're just. She's enjoying what you enjoy. I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about your younger daughter.
No, Sophie, Chloe, she's 17.
Okay, so the
Yeah, she'll
So
watch
you're saying
whatever
she doesn't
wants
need
watch.
to have like a smartphone in a movie to enjoy it, and
Well,
big,
she
like,
definitely has a
modern times?
smartphone
Right.
and watches her
Yeah.
stuff there, but she doesn't ask me.
No, I mean,
it's
in
not
the
like
film.
I'm influencing her and watching it anyway.
I just think to me it's taking things, and we've seen the originals, so we're comparing them. I think in some situations a lot of these kids probably haven't, and they probably won't go back and see it until after they've seen the one that's already coming out.
Yeah, I
or
agree.
they'll see the first one slightly,
Yeah.
like right before they go see the second one, so they have that bit of cred. Like, oh yeah, I've seen the original. But I think what it is it's just it's like I said, with the rise of video games and CG graphics and technology and everything else, you're just taking things and updating them and making it more palatable for the sensibilities of younger kids.
Well,
which is
maybe it's a
modernizing it.
50-50 thing. I think
I mean,
some
it could
kids maybe just prefer, watching the old movies.
That's what I'm saying. I
some like
agree
the
with
newer
I agree
stuff.
with all of you guys. I see what you're saying. I think there are certain kids out there that are savvier to older stuff.
They're doused in nostalgia.
They're doused in nostalgia, and then there are certain kids that I agree with him that if it was, oh my god, that was made before like 1997.
Oh yeah, no,
that's
they're
like
out there,
30
yeah.
years for me. You know what I mean? Like I get that.
Yeah.
Like Clerks is archaic to them,
Right,
and that
like
was
we
came out in
do the
94,
episodes.
you
We
know?
do the episodes here with Larry Dwyer. We do the Universal House
Right,
of
the
of
30s.
horror, and he said that there have been some movies that he said I think I could sit down with my kids. His kids, by the way, 7 and 4,
Right, they're young.
right.
and watch Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I don't know if when I was a kid, if I would have sat and watched a movie from 100 years
I
before.
did because my mother used to watch them.
Yeah.
My mother used to watch the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark movies and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
when I was a
Yeah.
kid, and like I liked those.
And I did to an extent too, but I'm just saying it's not always the norm. But a lot. I've had this happen. Like, okay, here's a prime example. So my buddy Rich, who give him a shout out, the Black Sheep Collective, who do the opening song for this podcast.
Yep.
He's got 5 kids, right? And especially when his 2 older kids were younger, I was like fun uncle, right? All that stuff. And I always was trying to get them into particularly the Muppets. Because the Muppets were big to me as a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
My
these
kids
two,
watch all the Muppet
These
movies.
2 kids couldn't give a fuck about the Muppets. They wanted SpongeBob SquarePants. They wanted the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yep.
I remember because I remember
Rick and
saying
Morty?
No, Rick. No, that's too new.
no.
I'm going back to like 2001, 2002.
Oh, okay.
Hannah Montana, and I would sit there and go, "This is shit." I'm going to bring Great Muppet Caper over, and I'd bring the movie over. And
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Within 10 minutes, they're doing something else. Even at like 5 years
It's hard
old.
to stimulate them, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's some kind of delineation line where it's like some kids can get into that stuff and some
Yeah, I
don't.
guess it depends on the kid.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
and
my kids, they'll get into the older stuff, that I show them.
I was the same way as a kid. I'd always ask probably guys your age,
Yeah.
talk about music with them and the movies. I was into that. I was into like the stuff when I was a kid. What was into guys probably like 18 at the time when it was coming out. Like
Right.
I'd always ask them about like my babysitter, like the Breakfast Club. So I was 10 years old. I'd ask her about it.
You just
know?
wanted to bang your babysitter. Come on. Because we all knew we all wanted to do
Well, I
that.
was going to say, Lloyd, is you said it yourself, things that I've shown them. And regardless of whether, and this is what I was saying, regardless of whether or not, teenagers act all edgy, and they do, they still want to be close to, their parents. They want to share in some stuff, and they want to have that
Even if
shared
they spend
experience.
24 hours a day in their bedroom.
Even if, honest to God, while the movie's on, they're staring at their phone screen, they still want to be in that environment, sharing that with their because they care about you and you care about them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about it rubbing off on them. You know what I mean? Like they're enjoying it not because they're enjoying it with you. Not to say they don't enjoy it, but that aspect of it is a pretty big.
And some kids, teenagers, they don't give a fuck.
There's
about
gotta be
nostalgia.
some of that
They don't
for
give a
sure.
shit what happened
Yeah, absolutely.
in the 90s. You know,
Right.
they don't give a shit what happened in the 90s, and that's not too far back. They
No.
just care
Well,
about
that's not too far back for us.
2000 and like
You know? Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, but, the 90s is like 20-something years ago. We're at 20 years of the end of the 90s
weird.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
know?
weird.
That's hard to even believe.
It is hard to believe because
I still think it's the 80s for
I still
crying out loud.
jokingly say to people you do. Yeah, of course I do. It's the 90s. You know what I mean? Like it's the 90s. That's
It
that
doesn't
attitude
seem
you
that
have
far
at the time.
back. I mean, I remember the 90s vividly. I'm just music and films.
I was
mean,
standing
it
in
was a
line.
great decade.
I was standing in line at the checkout the other day, and I saw Life magazine had a picture of Kurt Cobain on it, obviously, because I was like, oh, it's April. Yeah, that's right. It's the anniversary of his death. I went, holy crap, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, you don't realize how fast time's gone by.
I remember when Elvis died.
Jesus Christ. You remember when
Did I just kill the room?
You,
Holy shit.
you remember when
I
Jesus
actually
got
remember
crucified.
when Elvis died, yeah.
My
on the
first
news.
job was in a video store, so that's how I got into movie.
Really?
Part of how I got into film.
That's a
movies,
good way.
yeah.
That's a good way to do it. I think Lloyd worked at Sam Goody or something.
Yeah, it was a video store.
Yeah, I sure did.
Video store clerk. Yeah.
I was a newspaper boy when I was like 13. That doesn't count. That's why
Well,
I'm so into
how did you get
newspapers.
into film? I always
I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story because this is funny. My father, right? My father, who I love immensely, is not a movie or TV guy. My father's a great guy, but he's kind of very stoic, and he likes sports, and we share that. I'm a big football fan. I loved baseball as a kid, right? But that's what we got into together.
Right.
But like when it came to movies and stuff, nothing. There wasn't much of a comparative thing there. He didn't watch movies a lot. He didn't say, you got to check this out. My next door neighbor so I lived in an apartment building, like a condo type place. My next door neighbor, there was a boy and a girl, and the girl was a year younger than me, and the boy was like 2 or 3 years older than me. And we were good friends. We spent, he was like, close friends growing up, neighborhood friends. We spent every day together. Summertime, we're out playing, knock, and Johnny come outside, blah, blah, all that stuff. Their father, when I used to go over their house, their father had
like a film
a laser disc player, and he had the racks of VCR tapes. And I remember,
Did he have Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
That's
Were you able to pause it?
I'm going to date myself. This is before that. So like for like most of my film love, especially my genre film love, science fiction, some horror, I'm more of a sci-fi guy, comes from him. I would go over there, and I remember we'd watch movies over there, and I remember he would have like a brand new tape of something, and I, he'd be talking about it, and
really get into
he'd pull it out and go, and this is kind of where I get this from too. As long as this comes back the same way I got it, like you could borrow it.
Right.
I remember him. He used to read Starlog magazine, and he used to give me his old copies of Starlog. So I would read Starlog and read about these movies coming out and go, I've got to fucking see this somehow. And I lived in a neighborhood where at the bottom of the hill where I lived on was a plaza in Middletown, and there was a twin cinema.
Oh, cool.
And me and my friends, and I shit you not when I tell you this, spent every weekend at the movie theater.
Yeah, me
and
too.
when I was a kid,
Fourplex,
it was like $4 to get in.
Yeah.
And if it was a big movie, it didn't matter what it was. We would go back and see it. I think I saw Ghostbusters 7
Every
times.
weekend. Wow,
I saw Back to the Future 9 times.
Yep.
I mean, this is to show you how much I'd go. I think I saw Dune like 4 times. Yeah. And that ain't a good movie.
Did you say Dune?
Krull?
Dune.
Remember
Oh my
Krull?
God.
I just saw
K-R-U-L-L?
Krull. I just saw Krull in the movies again last year.
Beastmaster?
Beastmaster. But
Do you have the 99-cent theaters?
Forest
Do
Theater?
you remember those?
There was
Forest
one in
Theater?
Berlin. We did not have
okay.
one here, I grew up in Middletown. We did not have one in Middletown.
There was one in
You
Newington.
asked Andrew
There's
Morgan
one
about
in,
the Forest
Elmwood.
Theater.
I'll ask him about it.
He
Okay.
used to,
All right.
I'd go there all the time.
Well, you grew up in Newington, right? So
Yeah,
you
Newington.
probably went to that theater.
Yeah, all the time. I was
Yeah.
in the Newington Theater.
The last movie I saw in that theater,
Now
actually,
it's
before
a
it
Rite
burned
Aid.
down, was Star Wars reissue in '97.
Oh, yeah.
And then
my
it burned
God.
down. That theater's
Yeah.
been gone that long.
Yeah, wow.
See, I was the opposite. My mother was a film buff. She used to watch all the the Turner classic movies. and
My
stuff.
mother was more than my
Alpha,
father,
yeah.
but she watched a lot of stuff that, like, my mother's favorite movie is Wizard of Oz. I give a shit about that. So, like,
Right. No,
we
my
watched,
mom
we
was into
watched
the
movies
horror
together.
stuff, the sci-fi and horror. So that's where I got my love of it. She used to watch the Saturday matinees, the Billy Bob, all those Billy Bob Briggs.
Oh,
all that
Billy-
kind of
yeah.
stuff. She used to watch the Elvira.
Joe Bob Briggs, yeah.
Elvira religiously. She loved Elvira. And those like spooky movies where they go to the mansion.
Oh, yeah.
And so I grew up watching those.
You watched a lot of USA Up All Night, didn't
Yes,
you? With
Rhonda
Rhonda Shear.
and stuff. And that's how I got into it. Just because my mother watched them. And
Yeah, I'll give him a shout. I'll give him a shout out for sure. Rich LaBella. I just saw him like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. First time in a long time. But
Was that your neighbor?
that was my neighbor. That was my neighbor's dad.
Your neighbor's dad?
Yeah, Rich LaBella, and like I said, he was like a second dad for me as a kid. But like,
Don't give me this
That's
VCR
cool,
tape
though.
back sticky.
That's cool though. Like here's all my old Starlog magazines. Kid, get into this.
yeah. I remember, as a matter of fact, like even when I was out of comics for a while, when I wasn't collecting comics, I remember at one point, Dark Horse started. This is when Dark Horse started doing the Alien properties, and they did Alien vs Predator. And I remember I remember went over and I saw the 4 issues, and I was like, they're doing Alien vs Predator. He's like, yeah, and he's like, you want to borrow it? I'm like, fuck yeah. And I remember just him giving it to me and going, just as long as they come back the way I'm giving it to you. And that's how I've
Not
always
sticky.
been. No, I'm not jerking off. I'm jerking off. It's on the good stuff. All right? It's not on Alien vs. Predator.
My mother used to buy me Fangorias.
That's cool.
She didn't get Fangorias. I used to get them as a kid at Silver's drugstore.
I will give my dad credit though where he deserves it. He got me more into comics because my dad, not that he liked comics, but my dad worked for Stop and Shop. Not striking though. He's long retired. Don't cross that picket line. Don't cross that picket line. My dad worked for Stop and Shop for 50 years, literally 50 years, and they had the spinner racks there.
Yeah.
And I didn't read in order because, you really couldn't. My dad used to, maybe once a week come home with 5 or 6 comics.
Nice.
And I remember I'd be like sitting on the couch watching TV and he'd just throw them at me. And I'd have Fantastic Four 235 and I'd have Spider-Man, 281.
Batman 14? Little Lost Boys reference.
Oh no! Yeah. The Frog Brothers have the comic shop.
Do you have issue 14?
No,
Very rare.
I wish I had 14. So yeah, that's my origin story. I think you. We'll get into yours real quick, Lloyd. I know you said your dad was a comic reader, right?
Yeah, he was a late comic reader as far as I remember. He used to go to the Eye Opener in Newington. Probably when he was around
great store.
40.
Yeah,
Never been
Which, funnily enough, is around the time when I got into comics too. When I was around 40.
So you and your dad.
So what's that?
You and your dad got in the comics around the
Yeah,
same time.
it's very strange. I never read comics before then at all. Not when I was a kid.
I was a horror comic guy.
Yeah.
Tales from the EC stuff, Tales from the Crypt.
Oh
Local
yeah,
horrors.
yeah.
But I know at one point, I guess he figured somebody from the store used to tail him because we got robbed in Newington, and they went and took all his comics.
Oh,
Yeah, he had when Spawn first came out, he had all the originals and comics and like baseball cards. They stole all the shit. Yeah.
somebody stole my original Garbage Pail Kids, the first series. I had both A and B set, both Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah.
There used to be a
remember those.
comic book store where I lived in West on around the corner from 2nd Avenue. There was a great store. Neighborhood kids called it Finers, but it was called Bayshore Enterprises. And they had all the modules, the Tales from the Crypt modules.
You sure this was not a mafia front? Bayshore Enterprises does not sound like a comic book store.
No, and it was the coolest.
Hey Tony, what are we gonna call this store? Let's go. Well, let's see. Let's come up with good names.
It
How
was
about
the
Wizards and Dragons? No.
Anybody-
How about the superhero there? No. How about Bayshore Enterprises? That one sounds right.
They also do
that grew
trash
up-
removal
anybody
and
that-
vending machines.
Anybody that grew up in West Haven on 2nd Ave and 3rd Ave and 1st Ave, they know Bayshore Enterprises. It was a great comic book store.
It was not a front.
This
Bayshore
guy,
Enterprises, not a mafia front.
this guy had everything though. It just he had all the Vault of Horrors, all the Garbage Pail Kids series stickers.
Well, he had to launder the money somehow.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Original 1950, he had that store. And then he closed down, man. It's terrible. But he had sports cards in there too, sports figures, a bunch of shit, man. Just a kids rock candy they sold in
The
there.
day he closed
Remember the
down,
rock
did
candies?
a bunch
Oh, yeah.
of like cars show up and guys in jackets that said FBI on the back? I'm just
Lou, who in your family got you into? I'm assuming you with your family, it was probably not a parent.
no, it was just me.
It was just you.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up unlike you guys who grew up in neighborhoods with other kids. I grew up in a neighborhood where I was the only kid.
Really?
I
That
had
sucks.
I had
No one to play with.
I grew up in Woodbridge, and my road literally was all old.
we
all
were
old
street kids.
Yeah, it was all old families. And so, I mean, I was the only kid on my road. When my bus came down to pick me up for school, it was just me.
Oh
I
man.
can't imagine.
I
that.
mean, I lived through my imagination.
So you probably get more into because you dive into something. You
That's.
know what I mean?
I think we discussed this. I think we discussed this at length in the video game in the video game one that I did with Fulham. That's basically why I fell into video games as hard as I did, because it was, worlds I could hang out in by myself.
No one to play with at all.
Right.
No. I mean, that's yeah. So I mean, as silly as it sounds, the first movie I honestly remember seeing, because I was born in '79, was Return of the Jedi.
Lou, get out of the house. Go play with Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Mom, he's 80.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I spent a lot of time outside, and doing stuff and
But
just
that's-
hiking
I
around
can't
by
imagine
myself.
that,
But
not playing street hockey and passing a
Right,
frisbee
kickball
shit.
and
yeah,
shooting your friends in the ass with a BB gun.
Me
Yeah.
and my friends were like feral animals. I had two brother
we played in
friends
the swamps and shit.
Yeah, I had
Laser
two friends that
tag.
were brothers.
I had-
that their father used to whistle for them to come home. You could hear it in my
Yeah,
neighborhood
we
from
were
like a
out
fucking
all the-
half a
we
mile
didn't like-
away.
I had
it was, like,
woods
gone.
back of my house that I used to go out into, but I go by myself because I had nobody else.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, the only time I would have anyone around my age to
Cousins
hang out
come
with
over or
was
something?
my cousin.
Yeah.
And when we go there, have little family get-togethers. There were three of us that were about the same age. But I mean, it's not like we were
Lucky
around
didn't-
each other all the
lucky
time.
didn't turn out to be a serial killer.
Yeah. Well, that we know of.
That we know of.
That we know of. Or he's just that fucking good.
Speaking of that, what did you guys think of Summer of '84? I thought it was fantastic.
I didn't see that. I want to see
Oh,
that. It's
I
on
love
Shudder, right?
It's on Shudder.
Yeah. That's the one where the kid thinks his neighbor who's a cop is a serial killer.
Serial killer.
Yeah. No, I've not
It's
seen
very,
it yet.
it's very Hitchcock, Stephen King vibe to it. I'll give you that. I won't spoil her, but it has that vibe to it.
Okay. There's
Both of
another
those-
one I want to see similar called The Clove Hitch Killer with I'm
heard
gonna
of
fuck
that.
this up. It's either Dylan McDermott or Dermot Mulroney. They're the same
It's
guy
one
in
of
my
those
head.
D names.
And it's loosely based on the real murderer, the BTK killer, the guy who got caught out in Kansas
okay.
years ago.
Yeah.
But the premise of the movie is Dermot or Dylan plays a scout leader. Like he's
It's
this,
Dermot.
It's
by the way.
Dermot,
Yeah,
right?
Dermot.
He plays a scout leader. He plays like this upstanding guy, and his son is rooting around in his garage and finds a bunch of pictures of like women murdered and kind of creepy shit. And now the question is he the perpetrator, or is he into weird stuff, or why does he have
See,
this?
I like those kind of films.
Yeah, I actually want to see
I'll go
that.
see it.
The
Yeah.
Clove, it's on video on demand now. The Clove Hitch Killer.
Summer '84 was fantastic. The ending was fantastic. The writing, just the kids' acting was great. It's very, it's like Goonies kind of vibe,
Right.
Stranger Things, but that kind of whole vibe of neighborhood kids riding bikes.
Well,
and
right
shit
now
like
with
that.
Stranger Things, that whole neighborhood kids thing is
Yeah, it's definitely a Stephen King type thing.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And with it coming back, are you excited about It Chapter 2? I know a lot of Stephen King fans
I am.
who didn't like the It movie. I loved it. I didn't read it, and
I
I
like
liked
the
it.
movie.
I liked it. I saw it in the theater. I liked
Okay.
it.
I'm just hoping that Chapter 2 is just as good as the first.
I liked the kid stories of the losers.
Yeah.
I didn't like Pennywise performance.
really.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't like his.
I thought he was
just
creepy.
the-
as
Yeah,
fuck.
I like Pennywise.
Yeah.
Enough. Yeah, he was good. But if you go back to the '90s series, the kids
Tim Curry's
chapter
was
was
a lot
great, and
creepier.
the adult chapter was pretty bad.
Yeah,
So hopefully they can surpass that this time.
that's in September. It Chapter 2 is coming out in September.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I am. I mean, I like a lot of Steve. I'm reading The Long Walk now. You mentioned Bachman before.
Bachman books.
I
I'm on
started
chapter
that. I
6.
started that.
It's interesting. It's a slow.
I say
read,
that
but-
about a lot of books.
Yeah.
I start way more books than I've ever finished. I have a ton of books I can tell you the first half, and then just I don't know what happened after that.
Yeah, I'm about chapter 6 now. It's interesting. It's an interesting story.
Well, all right. You want to move into Hellboy real quick, and then we'll get out of here.
Hellboy, yeah. What else were we going to
All
talk
right.
about?
Well,
Hellboy.
let's move out because we're at about 45 minutes right now,
right.
so we'll make this a quick one. But Lloyd and I got the chance to see Hellboy earlier in the week with my wife Lindsay, and I'm going to give it a quick review as a Hellboy fan. I don't get the hate this movie's receiving. I had a good time.
I've seen so many horrible reviews.
Yes.
I mean, I can't even say how bad these reviews
Oh no,
were.
this movie is fucking universally reviled.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of universally reviled movies that I agreed with, and I don't get it with this one.
I don't either. And I haven't read a lot of Hellboy like you have, and I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I have some qualms with the movie, plus I fell asleep a little bit.
You did. You went sleepy leapy at one point.
I did a little bit.
I was going to knee you, but you woke up finally.
But I think the thing that I think got me the worst was I don't love the look of Hellboy. I like the Ron Perlman Hellboy, and maybe it's the face, maybe it's kind of like a little sourpuss face, maybe it's the hair. I'm not quite sure, but I didn't love it.
I like Harbor as Hellboy. I prefer Perlman as Hellboy.
Yeah.
Because Perlman as Hellboy is a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like you buy that. Like, Ron Perlman Hellboy.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
one and the same.
I liked Harbor. I didn't like the long hair look, but I got where they were going with it. They were making he was supposed to be younger. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not in the same line as the Perlman. This is a reboot.
Yeah.
I'm sad because I know we're never going to get another Hellboy movie. This thing tanked.
It tanked.
I think it was third or fourth in the box office. But as far as just a straight up fun movie, my thing is that when I watched it, I had a good time.
I did too.
I didn't mind the jokes. I didn't think the CGI was as bad as people say. The plot is paper thin, but I still had fun with it. The hatred that people are bestowing upon this movie just doesn't add up to me, especially when, like 6 or 7 months ago, Venom came out. And people seem to be
Have
like,
you seen Venom?
it's fucking awful.
I never saw
I
it.
haven't seen Venom.
It's fucking awful.
All right.
Did you see Venom?
Yes.
Did you like that?
I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't hate it. I didn't go crazy for it.
thought it was terrible.
I thought it had its moments.
I'll agree.
Humor.
I'll agree. It had some moments of humor, but I
Jump
don't,
off the building.
That was good. I don't understand how some of these people could go, "Oh, Venom gets a pass," but Hellboy was just terrible. So I personally can tell you right now, when Hellboy comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed it enough.
I really like the scene, like the action scenes, the three giant trolls.
The scenes where the scene where he fights the three giants.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was so fucking good. And then there was little bits here and there that I just thought were so much fun. Again, it's a paper thin plot, but like I guess the way I'm trying to quantify it is that I just don't understand. I would understand it more if people said this movie's okay, but I have no interest in it. People fucking hate this movie.
Where did the hatred come from? Like, what was hated about it? Was it?
I've heard
The CGI.
The CGI.
Yeah.
All right, CGI.
Okay, which again, have I seen worse? Sure. Have I seen better? Sure.
They did say the plot was a big issue.
The plot is it's
seems
a
like
standard.
It seems like they maybe took a lot of elements of Hellboy.
They took a lot of elements from
put it in
different
one
stories
movie?
in Hellboy.
Yeah,
Put it in one movie. They did do that. But
But
you know what? So what?
I was okay with the story. I mean, it seemed okay to me.
There was nothing in that movie that if you hadn't read the comic, you couldn't just pick up on.
Right.
It wasn't like, okay, this is the one thing they did was a couple times they made the little Lobster Johnson scenes. If you've never read a
Right.
Hellboy comic, you're kind of like, maybe who's that guy? But like there was nothing in it where it was like so pertinent to the plot that you had to go, I had to have seen this to understand this.
Yep.
There was a lot of Easter eggy type elements. They took this little bit from the Wild Hunt. They took this little bit from the Hellboy in Mexico where he becomes a wrestler. That whole first scene, that's a series.
Not knowing all that stuff, I was still okay with.
That's what I'm saying.
How it all came together, it was okay.
That's
with
what
me.
I'm saying is as someone who never read any of that stuff, you weren't confused by that, right?
No.
It just seemed like the plot to a movie. If I had to give it another little weakness, and I know people are gonna, probably hate me saying this, Ian McShane, I like him. He's not Professor Broom, and he's to the point now where he literally is just playing himself every fucking role he gets. He just is that guy that talks like this.
Yeah, I don't
He
mind
even
that so
played
much.
that role in Game of
Jack
Thrones in like the
Nicholson
2
is-
episodes he was in.
Was he in Game of Thrones?
Yeah,
too?
for like 2 episodes, 1 or 2 episodes. But he basically played Ian McShane.
He was great in Deadwood. He's a great
Ian
actor.
McShane is great, so I don't care if he's in something.
Yeah.
I pretty much like
By
it.
the way, that Game of Thrones premiere I liked it.
I'm way behind,
I thought
so
it was pretty badass.
Really? I
did.
thought. I mean, like
I did. But I'm not a huge Game of
Well,
Thrones.
it just caught you up with the story.
here's my thing with it. For a show that hasn't been around for 2 years, it was really slow with not a lot going on. The other thing,
not much happened.
The other thing that got me, and I won't throw spoilers at you.
I'm only on season 5.
What
so.
I like about this really though is that you're enjoying a show that when we worked together and I would sit and I would read the books on my lunch, you would take from me and make fun of me for reading.
Well, yeah, because you're reading a 19,000 page novel.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I find it funny that you're watching the show, but
Infinite
Well,
Jest.
no, because I'm
In any event.
watching Cliff Notes versions of the
you know,
show
in
in an hour's time.
you would take the book from me like you were the bully in high school and be like, "Hey nerd, what are you reading now?"
Lou's like on page 390,000. Her cloak was made of the finest silken thread,
Everything
from
is described in like ultimate detail.
Yeah.
Like, for
And then
like,
and then you would
pages.
take the book, you would call me a nerd, then you would give me a swirly,
Yeah.
and now you're watching it.
Yeah.
What I was going to say really briefly about the Game of Thrones premiere was one of the major problems it has. The viewer already knew the big reveal when the big reveal happened. If they had not said anything about that at the end of last season, and you had found out at the same time as the character who found out, then I think it would have had more impact. But when you're sitting there going, okay, said character is going to find out now. You know what I mean? Like we're sitting there going, we already knew.
There's
you know,
there's no
there's no element of
surprise.
surprise at all. And I tried to do that as spoiler free as I could.
Yeah,
I
no,
appreciate
I
it.
got what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
The fans, the listeners appreciate it. You're still a nerd. It's okay. Are you gonna now? Here's a question. Do you read you don't read the Game of Thrones books, right?
No.
Yeah, you're not a nerd. So you
Just watch the show.
you watch the show. So they're gonna end it, and these guys now are in control of the ending. Are you gonna bother reading the next 9 books?
But see, here's the thing, and this has already been addressed. Martin, well, because obviously now the shows have outstripped the books, Martin has backtracked saying, well, I told them the ending to this years ago. So basically what he's saying is the original ending that he had in mind, which is the ending of the show, without saying it, he's changing.
Yeah, he's
so
gonna
there's still
change.
going to be a reason to read the books.
Okay.
And there's only
Yeah.
2 left.
Yeah.
It would have actually killed the books if the ending had come out in the show You know, and then you're sitting there going, well, okay, we got another decade before we actually get to finish them.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Back to Hellboy.
Well, we're done with Hellboy.
Oh, we're done?
What would
I
you
want
give?
to ask you.
Yeah, okay.
I want to ask you.
I
What,
actually had a Hellboy question that
Sure.
I want to throw in, but go ahead, Lloyd.
what did you think of Mila Jovovich
She was fine.
for the?
She was
villain?
fine.
Yeah.
She's one of those actresses that she's okay. You know,
She's
I'm
okay.
not one of those guys that like jumps on the she's the hottest thing ever thing either.
Element?
Fifth Element, it's a great
Or
movie.
was it, what is it, the one where she plays the assassin? What movie is that?
Oh, Resident Evil?
Point of no... One of them she plays an assassin, doesn't she? Or am I getting confused with some?
I don't know. I know Resident Evil, but I saw the first one and it was fucking garbage, so I never watched any more of those. I don't know. I thought she was good.
Yeah,
She's
all right.
She's timeless. I mean, she is a good-looking woman.
Yep.
And she played. The character was
Timeless.
serviceable. And timeless. I mean, I like the fact that I like that scene where she's like disembodied, like watching TV and
yeah,
just
yeah.
like completely like gabsmacked or fucking
Gobsmacked?
Yeah, gabsmacked at like the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Lou, you had a question about Hellboy, Lou.
Yeah, and my quick question
Yes.
is, I mean, do you think, because I think this, I haven't read as much Hellboy, but I've read enough of it. Do you think it actually needs to be a movie? I mean, I think it would work better as a show.
I think it would be a better show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I'd
I'm
love
saying.
to see it.
I think
Yeah.
trying to make it
Is
into
the
a
comic
movie.
book good?
Oh,
I know
yeah,
of
comic
it.
book's
I
great.
never got into the
Yes.
comic
Yeah,
book.
comic
Awesome
books
comic.
are awesome.
Mike Mignola is like he's the creator behind everything. He draws a lot of it, but he kind of gives a lot of it off to other guys. It's one of the research that he does for these books. Hellboy will fight some.
He's a good guy, essentially.
Hellboy. Well, he's
a good. He's not a villain.
He is a weapon of evil that is used for good and wants to be good. So there's always that whole thing. Is he going to turn bad? Is there's the dichotomy of
Juxtaposed,
and they touch on that in this movie very well.
Yeah.
And they also bring in there's a whole thing. I won't get too far into it. There's a whole thing that went on in the comics that relates to King Arthur and Excalibur with Hellboy. Wow.
I think I asked you in the
favorite
movie,
films.
like, is this from the books?
And they
'Cause
get
I've never heard
into
this.
it,
Yeah.
So all right, so Hellboy, what would you give it? Scale of 1 to 5, just out of curiosity.
I'd give it a 3.
I'd give it a solid 3 myself.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I will when it comes on Blu-ray. I will watch it. I don't get the hate, but you know what? Everybody's welcome to their opinion.
Yeah.
But I just don't get the hate.
I don't get it either.
So this has been Pint of Comics. We're gonna get going.
Can I intervene one thing?
Yes.
One last thing?
Yes.
Going around. Name your one guilty pleasure film.
I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I got to a point. I got to a point of age where I realized that if I like something, fuck it, I like it.
Well, name a movie that people would be surprised that you like.
I love the Pitch Perfect movies.
Really?
I love them.
Interesting.
I love them. I love the soundtrack. We did an episode of our friend Rock Candy Podcast show recently, and we did our top 3 or top 5 soundtracks. The Pitch Perfect #1 is one of my favorite soundtracks.
That's the one with the Australian. Have you said the Australian?
Rebel Wilson,
Yeah, Rebel
and
Wilson,
Anna Kendrick and
yeah, those were.
Brittany
I've
Snow.
seen a couple of them.
the first 2 are very much on the same length. The third one went weird. It's kind of like an actiony movie. It's weird. But you know what? If you're going to consider something where if someone said, "I bet you I'm not going to pin John on that," yeah, I like the Pitch Perfect movies.
Devil Wears Prada.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
without even blinking.
That's because you want Anne Hathaway to blow you, right?
Well, she
No,
is
I thought that movie.
She has a mouth that just.
That's my only problem with it. I just didn't care for the ending. I just thought the ending was a little too trite. The whole, oh, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to become an author, and
I'm not
going to
a
work
big
at a
Meryl
newspaper.
Streep fan, though.
I would have. I thought it would have been cool if that. She at the end of the movie, she realized, you know what? I like this life. I like jet setting around and being involved in this. And I'm a human being. I'm allowed to change. I mean, the opinions and beliefs I had now, after spending a couple of years in this environment, I like this more. It doesn't always
You
have
have
to
spent
be.
a lot of time thinking about The Devil Wears Prada.
I've seen it a lot.
I'm not a big Meryl Streep fan.
I love
like,
that
Meryl
movie.
Streep's
I really
main,
do.
Is like the main fashionista, right? The fashion diva. Yeah.
I saw bits of it with Lindsay one time because Emily Blunt's in that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not again. It's not a favorite of mine, but it wasn't bad for what I deem
I
as a
love
chick
that movie.
flick.
My wife will come down. My wife will come out, and I'll just like, if I get up
I
before her
would've
because I
never
get up
pegged
early,
that on you.
she'll come out and she'll be like, "Are you seriously watching this movie again?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I think we all know the answer to that."
All right, Lloyd.
I'll say I don't really have a real answer for this. Lion King.
Well, not necessarily guilty. You have to feel
Yeah.
guilty about it, but somebody would be surprised that you.
No,
love that
I'll
film.
just stick with Lion King then.
Because it's a kids movie.
Because it's a kids movie. Sure.
Okay. All right, Neil, what do you got?
Mine, without a doubt, is Adventures in Babysitting. Absolutely fucking love that movie.
That's a good one.
Adventures in Babysitting.
That is a good one. Yeah.
I own
Elizabeth
it on.
Shue.
I own it on DVD. Keith Coogan, Elizabeth Shue. It's just a fun movie. Puts a smile on your face. Man.
All right.
Just a fun movie.
I'm going to even go with that's not even a good one because I think that a lot of people of our age might like that one.
Well, they
I pulled out Pitch
surprised.
Perfect, dude. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's
He's got fucking The Devil Wears Prada.
But people would be they're
Yeah.
still surprised. I mean, it's not exactly a male 40 in their 40s type of movie.
Well, but you were a male in your early teens, so
yeah, well, that was-
I'm saying
yeah,
what's something that people would just.
I think he's holding back.
Yeah, there's something.
Adventures a bit. It doesn't fly, huh? With you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, there's got to be like a Hallmark movie, like Home for Christmas, or
Come on, give me something with Matthew
I thought that was-
McConaughey,
Yeah.
where he's like a
like
ghost.
something with Kate Hudson.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey,
I like She's All That.
see,
there
that's a
you
better
go.
answer.
There
She's
you
all
go.
that.
Much better answer.
I like that
Is that
movie.
the Rachel?
No, the Melissa Joan Hart is popular in what's his name? That actor. He's
Adrian Grenier?
yeah.
I know what you're talking. I've never seen it. I know what you're talking
They
about.
get together.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a much better answer.
Entourage.
Who was also-
Adrian
yes,
Grenier.
Who was also in Devil Wears Prada.
She's All That.
Was he?
Adrian Granny was
Entourage.
Anne Hathaway's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
The
saw
chef.
it once. I saw it once.
I think that's the one. She's.
Yeah, he's
because
got
I know
the curly hair.
I know the one you're talking about,
Yeah,
where
that's him.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
yeah,
and
what's that?
I don't know what that one's called. I hope I'm not messing the titles up.
Isn't that
know
She's
what?
All
We
That
all-
with
we
I thought She's All That had Freddie Prinze Jr. and,
with the
what's her
girl
name?
with the eggs?
Yeah,
Well, no,
Yeah,
before
where
we
she
leave,
was like
let me look
all
this up. Yeah,
Okay.
I might be saying the
she
wrong
was
title.
nerdy, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. found her,
Which
and
I like that one
they
too.
had the bet that with the whole prom thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drive Me Crazy.
Drive Me Crazy. Yes,
I'm
thank you.
picturing. I'm not being a dick. I've never seen it, but
Drive Me
I
Crazy.
have a memory like that.
I like that film.
Okay,
Drive Me Crazy. So it's not
There you
She's
go.
All That. It's Drive Me
Okay, but
Crazy.
you do like She's All That.
It's okay, but not as much as she drives me crazy.
Okay.
Drive Me Crazy. I like more.
There's something we're gonna keep working on Lloyd because I don't.
Yeah, Lion King doesn't get a pass either.
Is there like
Nothing
a
is coming
chick
to mind.
flick? Is there a chick flick that would normally like something you and your wife watched that you went, I'm never gonna like this, and you go, holy fuck, I like that.
Because Lion King, that's
Serendipity?
There you go.
Okay,
Perfect answer.
that's a good one.
Good.
Okay.
That's
Perfect
good.
answer.
There you go.
That's a-
Serendipity.
All right,
With
so
John Cusack.
Yeah.
serendipitous that we're gonna end the show on that one.
All right.
It's Pint of Comics. It's been Lou Skywalker, as we call him, the rise of Lou Skywalker. The Manster, Johnny Ganache. We gave John the week off, and Neal Damiano,
Neal D.
Neal D, and Neal. Check him out at. Give the website one more time.
www.top and then the number 10 films.co.uk.
All right, and Neal,
Top 10 films.
we end every episode with someone saying "see ya." We don't usually give it to somebody else to do, but you know what? You've been doing so well tonight.
Thank you.
Go ahead and get us out of here.
See ya.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.